And a new study finds that young Americans could use some help when it comes to managing their finances.
Yeah, a new study from San Diego State University asked millennials 3 questions about basic financial knowledge. The average respondent, they say, couldn't answer 2 of them correctly. Here's what happened when we took to the streets to ask the questions.
Do you think that the following statement is true? Buying a single company stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund.
I have no idea what that means.
Suppose you had $100 in a savings account and the interest rate was 2% per year. After 5 years, how much do you think you would have in the account if you left the money to grow?
Not much.
Yeah, not much. I do know that putting your money into just a regular savings account is not wise.
Now imagine that the interest rate on your savings account was 1% per year and inflation was 2% per year. After 1 year, would you be able to buy more than exactly the same as or less than today with the money in this account?
A fish and a bicycle. I have no idea.
Now, granted, we sprung these questions on these poor, unsuspecting people out there on the streets,
John,
and you spring it on them.
Unfortunately, this is America.
Yeah.
This is America. I see it in my office regularly. The people that are even successful in business, in their careers, doing well, we've raised generation upon generation of financial illiterates.
Because we don't teach it, and that's part of the problem. It's not taught, and so people get to these questions, and it's tough for a lot of people to answer.
Exactly.
All right, let's go down these questions here, by the way. Okay, the first question here, is it true or false that buying a single company stock provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund? Well, and it's confusing because people just put the money in the 401k, they don't think about it.
Sure, well, all right, let's look at it. Buying a single company stock versus a mutual fund. Now, people think I buy the stock, I know the company. I'm going to put it in Apple, I'm going to put it in Google, I'm going to watch it, I know exactly what goes on. Anytime you pick individual stocks, it's a high-risk, high-reward proposition. Can you say Enron? Can you say WorldCom? Can you say Eastman Kodak?
Yeah.
I mean, companies come and go. The benefit of a mutual fund is you own hundreds of companies, well diversified. That's the key.
You and I have talked about this, though. People are so loyal to their company. You think about these long-term firms, and they say, I'm going down with the ship here.
Yeah,
and it happens, right? They buy into it, and they do.
And they do go down with the ship, which is a real tragedy. People think they're going to be loyal. Maybe the boss is watching, I own the stock. That's baloney. You shouldn't have more than 5% of your net worth in your company stock.
That's why you do mutual funds. Okay, next up here, the 2 statements about interest rate. What do people need to know? First of all, she was right. You put it in a savings account, you might as well just keep it in a shoebox.
First of all, savings isn't investing. Investing is long-term for the rest of your life, for retirement generally. Savings account is for what you need in the short term. And the answer to that question is 2% and 5% is going to, 2% over 5 years, you have about $110.41, $110.41 if you invest $100.
And it's funny, savings accounts aren't even paying 1% now. It's like 0.0001, so you're not getting rich.
But it's a place for an emergency fund, but it's not a place to build wealth.
All right, so what should people know? I mean, there are a lot of questions out there that
the interesting thing is, John, that knowledge does not necessarily translate to behavior. What they found in this study is that even though people know this stuff, particularly with the millennials, I know what I should be doing, I think I should be saving, but there's a lot of pressure on 30-year-olds, to keep up with their peers, buying the cars, the television sets, taking the trips. You need to understand what it is, you need to understand what the ramifications are, but unfortunately, as I said, just because you know it doesn't necessarily mean you do it.
And I think it's going to be harder for the millennials because they know somebody from college who came up with an app and made $4 million in one day, so you're asking me to save at 2%, 3%, 4%? That's tough.
Or they're going to be the next LeBron James or something. Yeah, that's fantasy land.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Joe Bert. Good to see you. Hey, people want to find you. What's the best way to find you?
Just Google me, Joe Bert, 2 words, B-E-R-T.
He's right there, Joe.
Thanks, John.
Appreciate you being here today.